When the attack happened in Libya and Gaddafi was being taken down, a number of African presidents said, wait, hold. We will fly into Libya and we can have some kind of diplomatic conversations. The feedback from external actors to them was, if you fly into Libyan airspace, we cannot guarantee your security. I want you to think about that for a minute, that heads of state of the African continent were told this on our continent. And ladies and gentlemen, what is Libya today? What is Libya today? And it happened on our watch. It happened on our watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda 1994. Dilly-dallying over the word genocide at the United Nations Security Council saw 1 million people dead in how many days? And who solved the problem? We had to solve the problem. His Excellency and a small force came back in and had to build this country from scratch, ladies and gentlemen. And today we still get lectures and hear lectures about human rights, and there's something wrong. I want to talk about South Africa today. In South Africa today, we are hearing narratives being built around white genocide in South Africa. You are security actors, you understand the import of these narratives and why are they being placed in the international scene? Why is this happening? What could it open up? But where does Africa stand? 54 nations? A strong continent, resource-rich, fastest-growing continent in the world. Where do we deserve to sit? Your Excellency, let me come to you on this. Multilateral systems and how do we maneuver this very serious reality, please?
Gaddafi died in honor, fighting for the Libya that he believed in. They would never have won if NATO was not bombing day in and day out. Brother Ali Baghdadi, that is a writer and a great Arab writer, said they bombed Libya back to the Stone Age. We were in Libya. We saw Libya being built from the ground up. We witnessed what this man did for the Libyan people. And for NATO to have bombed it like this, watch for Halliburton, watch for Bechtel, watch for the vultures of London, England, and France and others trying to rebuild the infrastructure that they purposely destroyed, which is against international law.
I'm not going to keep y'all real long. But we got to have this conversation with our 4 young leaders in Africa. We got to have this conversation with the president of Guinea. We got to have this conversation with the president of Mali. We got to have this conversation with the new young president, Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, 34 years old, the youngest president on the face of the earth. We got to have this conversation. Brother Ibrahim, I think you are the real deal. There's presidents in Africa, leaders in Africa, they talk, but they don't really do anything. They just talk. I think you're the real deal, President Ibrahim, but I got to challenge you, my brother. I still got to challenge you because I don't need my brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso catching any more hell. I don't want my brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso to suffer any more death, any more starvation, poverty, economic devastation. I need you brothers to mean what you say and say what you mean, brothers and sisters. I need you brothers and sisters to mean what you say and say what you mean. So Brother Ibrahim Traore, are you the real deal or are you acting for a white foreign power? Do not go into debt to Russia, China, or India. They are not your friends. If you go into debt to Russia, China, and India, you are no longer a revolutionary. You are a puppet. I hope you're listening to me, President Doumbouya. I hope you're listening to me, General Goita. I hope you're listening to me, General Chiani. I hope you're listening to me, young President Ibrahim Traore. If you take the money from China, if you take too much assistance from Russia, if you take too many handouts from India, you become their slave. You become their slave. I'm not saying you can't do business with them. I'm not saying you can't do business. You may have to do business because your country has immediate needs before you can get yourself back up on your feet. I know you will have to do some business with India, Russia, and China. I understand. But what I'm saying is don't sign any deals that are going to be so deep, so long in their history, that you will not be able to cut the umbilical cord to the Chinese neo-colonizer, the Russian neo-colonizer, the Indian neo-colonizer. Russia don't give a damn about Africa. Russia don't like Africa no more than China. And China don't like African people no more than the United States. Everybody in Africa who is not a black African is an invader or the descendant of one. I said everybody in Africa who is not a black African is either an invader or a descendant of one. I said everyone in Africa who is not a black African is either an invader or a descendant of an invader. Do not sell off your corporations. Do not sell off your minerals. Give nobody exclusive rights to your mineral resources.
Welcome back, my good people, from wherever you're watching from. This is Cap.Ibrahim, and I will dive just right in this video. And when I see such kind of clips or videos, I feel so worried. I feel so painful. It pains me so much to see what happens to our great revolutionary leaders, just like Muammar Gaddafi. Because what's so embarrassing is that all that happened, it happened under the African leaders' watch. They were there, seeing everything that happened. Just as you have here, that lady, that when the attack happened in Libya, the African leader said, "Hold on, let's wait and see what's going to happen." And later, what happened? All that happened is something that that damaged Africa in a very, very great impact. It brought a great impact in African continent, because just like you have heard Farrakhan saying that Libya, they were there when Libya was being built. And when Muammar Gaddafi started building Libya from scratch, they were there. And until the time Muammar Gaddafi built Libya to the state where it was a different state or a different country from other African countries. But just because he was trying to improve the infrastructures of Libya, just because he was trying to stand by the interest of the Libyans, just because he was trying to benefit, to make the Libyans or people from Libya to benefit from their resources. Because during that time, every citizen from Libya, every citizen from Libya was benefiting from their oil, whether you are employed or not. At the end of the month, you must get money from the government. And those money were coming out just because the government of Libya was selling out fuel to the world, was supplying oil to the world, and that brought a lot of income in Libyan country, and that enabled this guy to build Libya and make Libya a very great state of Africa. So, when an African leader arrives and starts doing something good to his country or to his people, then the white people, what they think is that they have they need to have that power and that great say in African countries. So what they do is to make sure that that you don't do what your people will praise you. They don't allow you to do anything that will make your citizens believe in you, so that whenever you come up with the ideas that can bring you a great leader or a famous leader or someone whom your people believes in you so much, they have to look something to put over you, so that your people cannot can lose that trust that they have towards you. Just like that lady has said, during that time, Even the world separates themselves from Libya, and they warned African leaders that whoever visited or flies to Libya, he must guarantee himself the security. But the world security cannot guarantee you security because they announced a threat. Muammar Gaddafi was a threat to the world. So they were not allowing anyone to go and visit Muammar Gaddafi because they knew very well that if they allow people or the other African leaders to go and visit Libya to see Muammar Gaddafi, then they will know the truth. Maybe he could have exposed the truth to other African leaders, and that's why you've seen when they came to take down this guy, the Africans were watching, Africans were celebrating, the African leaders were just there watching, and they had nothing to say because they had already made to believe that that guy is a very, very dangerous man. Just because they had already meant to believe that that guy is holding a destructive weapons like nuclears. Just because they had made African believe that Muammar Gaddafi was a leader to the terrorists. So once you have heard that someone is a leader to the terrorists, you know, this means that this guy is a threat to the nations, and you cannot be ready to associate with him, because when you do so, then you will be an enemy to other nations. You will be an enemy to your people. You will be an enemy to the people you are representing. So that made the people and the leaders of Africa to keep distance from Muammar Gaddafi. That's the time when Muammar Gaddafi needed much help from his fellow African leaders, but they abandoned him. Until the time this guy was taken down, until the time the Africans later came to know the history of Libya in Muammar Gaddafi, that's when they felt like they did something that they will never forgive themselves, because they had very good time. They had very good time to stand with Muammar Gaddafi, to defend Libya and to defend African continent at large. So the same is happening today. When you visit Libya, just take a look at how Libya is looking at today, and if you have ever passed through the pictures of Libya during that time, try to compare with the recent pictures of Libya, how it was and how it is at the moment. You will come to know that this guy was a great man. That guy was a very great and important revolutionary leader of Africa. But all that happens, it happened, and we cannot reverse the time back. We have to just focus, and so is happening to Burkina Faso. The question is right, is there. They want all that has remained to Africa. Once Julius Malema said that America can never be their friends, because they have nothing good to come to tell Africa. They have nothing good to come to do with Africa. When they come to Africa, they come with a purpose. That's one purpose: to check out, to see what else has remained to Africa, so that they can take it back to their countries.
Remember when Malema said this?
America can never be welcomed here in South Africa, in the African continent, because we know when they come here, they are coming to check what more can we steal.
So when they come and try to convince some African leaders, those who fail into traps, are the one who today we are calling puppets. Because once you accept these people, when they come with good offers in your countries, you may think that they have good interest to your people or to your country. But what Africans never know is that there is no a day, even a single day, that a white man has ever made a good interest or good purpose with African or a black people or a black person. What they are interested here in Africa is all that we have. When you see a white man is so interested in your country, then you have to ask yourself, which minerals that does your country have? When you find an answer, then you don't have to put so much interest and concern about him, because he is not after you, but he is after what you have. He is after what your country have. And that's why you've seen just the other day, France was the colonizer of Burkina Faso. But since Ibrahim Traore tried to pull himself out of that chain, out of a francophone, out of those all the imperials from France, all the French powers from Burkina Faso, try to show up that they are trying to give up. But that's when America came in and started fighting Burkina Faso. And that's why you saw the other time they sent their military commander, Michael Langley, to come and deal with Ibrahim Traore, accusing him of misusing the country's gold. Whereby we have never even heard any Burkinabe complaining about their leader. We have never heard any African leader complaining about Ibrahim Traore. What we are hearing from Burkina Faso and around the globe, around Africa, is that everyone is praising Ibrahim Traore. Everyone is coming up to speak a positive impacts about Ibrahim Traore. So they are not concerned about what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso, but what they are so concerned of is that Ibrahim Traore is not ready to offer his country's gold for the international mining companies. He is not ready to access some foreign powers to his country. That's the great crime he has committed. And you know, when an African leader tries to raise up his head or his neck, they have to come up, they have to cut off his neck. And that's why you've seen they have tried many attempts just to find, that's why you're seeing that they are trying any means on how they can get the chance to destroy this guy. But we as Africans, we are here. And that's why at this time, I love what Africans are doing. I appreciate the support that Africans are trying to show up. Those guys like Lumumba of Congo, Muammar Gaddafi, they were destroyed, they were killed, just because those time Africa was still asleep. Africans were still asleep, and they knew nothing about history of Africa. They knew nothing about what about Americans or the white people's interests. All they think of is that they have to wait until the white man come to save them. They believe that all the white people that who are in Africa, they are here for the best of Africa. But yet, the fact and the truth is that they are here to make sure that Africa is destroyed. That's their mission. That's their mission. And that's why we as Africans today, we are saying that we already know their tactics. We already know what they are after. So when they come, they have to look for things or for the allegations to put against someone so that they can get that chance, the good chance to come and take him down. So that when they come, even the people that you are representing, the Africans, will be celebrating for your downfall. So at this time, what we believe as Africans, that the white people are so afraid of the new arising African revolutionary leaders. But that's not our concern. Our concern is that we need the best leadership. Our concern is that we need to correct all the mistakes that we have done. We want to clear all the messes that we have done against our leaders. At this time, we as Africans, we are saying that we are so sorry for the great mistakes that we did against our African leaders, our African revolutionary leaders who tried so hard to stand for us, our African leaders who tried so hard to protect the dignity and interests of Africans. We left them. They were taken away. They were assassinated under our watch. The Africans were there celebrating during the killing of Muammar Gaddafi as he was being pulled on the streets of Libya. His bones being crushed. The leaders were just celebrating. Africans were just celebrating. So Ibrahim Traore will not, so the same will not happen to any African revolutionary leader. Not Ibrahim Traore, not Julius Malema, not not Arikana, Dr. Arikana, not any African revolutionary leader. But what we are doing today, what we are doing and what we will do from now and forever until we achieve the dream of a uniting Africa is that we will stand up, we will fight, we will advocate, and we will install the revolutionary leader, revolutionary mind in each African youth's mind, so that we grow up knowing what we want, we as Africa, so that we grow up when we know that what happened, we will not allow it to happen anymore. But what we'll do is to protect our leaders, to stand by ourselves, to start this, to advocate this we are doing today until we achieve our dreams. This is Kenyan Explorer. Just tell me what you have to the comment section. Speak out your views. Try to find out more. What happened to Ibrahim Traore, to Muammar Gaddafi? What happened to Lumumba of Congo? What happened to Kwame Nkrumah? What happened to Thomas Sankara? Then you'll know the history. You'll know something about the history of Africa, and you'll know what we as the Pan-Africans, what we as a Pan-Africans, we are trying to tell, because we need the best Africa, and we are not ready to allow what happened to our ancestors to happen to the new generation. This is new generation. This is new Africa. This is new way of leadership, and that is our promise, that we are going to change from the system of governance up to the top seats of African leadership. Struggle continues. A luta continua.